my sister's question, I think one of my greatest failures in life, especially my primary years as a leader and minister, was the thought that I could please everybody. You know, there is a mindset that when you are very popular or the most popular, I could say we have the biggest church probably in Eastern Central Africa, or like that. And I'm saying that in humility. There's the assumption that everybody understands you, or that you are called to please and make everybody understand. And for me, that cost me quite a lot. Why? Because you see, even in the Bible, we have these two terms. We have the called and the chosen. The price,
The called and the chosen.
the Bible says
Go deep,
many,
Papa.
the Bible tells us that many are called, very few are chosen. That there was many leaders in South Africa called for the fight against apartheid. But Nelson Mandela was chosen distinctly to be sort of a pioneer, a leader ahead of these many. And even the humility to know that Nelson Mandela has been chosen. I'm number 2 or 3, and I can just be the best number 3, and I'm okay with that. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm simply fulfilling my purpose in the context, right? But when God Himself, and I know some of you who are here, students or visitors through, you're just this for a while. One day you're going to be probably running for office in the highest office of the land, whichever country God shall take you. The people here perhaps who are not just called for change, but they are chosen vessels. The weight and price of that is going to come with so much criticism,
That's a fact.
so much persecution. There's always going to be people who were as though designed to misunderstand you. Or that if you try to explain, the more you explain yourself, it's almost as though the more you are guilty of a thing. And that piece that I felt God draw me to, that those who hear you understand you most when you say nothing. The lesson that when God has called a people or attracted a people to you and they see you as a chosen vessel, you might not need to explain yourself so much, that they will understand you most even when you kept quiet. So I tried in those earlier years to think that I would find my way of explaining to everybody what this meant, what was the truth behind this narrative. No, they're lying. I swear upon God, check my texts. I had a conversation with this guy on my WhatsApp, and this was the truth about it, and he's lying. Okay, so what if he's lying? And I got to people with whom you'd give all the proof in the world, and the guy would still say, no, I don't believe you.
They're committed to misunderstanding.
Yes, they're committed. So
Like that.
I and for the lesson for anybody who will take that place, especially when you find yourself chosen, understand that you're never going to please everybody. Understand that I always tell people that I have a message for the world, but I'm not the pastor for the world. I'm not going to pastor the whole world, but I have a message for the world. If I'm not going to be a pastor of a person, I should accept that I'm not your pastor. If by God's grace I have a message in whatever sphere of life God has given me grace to be able to touch your heart in some way or say some sense and improve your version, and perhaps maybe by the time you walk out you're going to be a greater version of yourself, then thank God that He's given me that part. But I'm not going to fight for man. I'm not going to fight to win everywhere, and that's okay. Leaders, that's okay. And lastly, I'll say this. Some of you who have interacted with corridors of power, you have found yourselves in circumstances, either observing or yourselves in the place of making decisions that might be contrary to everybody, almost everybody. But again, believe in the power that put you in that office. Believe in the power that ordained you above these men. Believe in the power that chose you. Believe in the grace and the things that by God's grace, have been contributed to establish you in that place. Because sometimes, and I know Vusi knows this, the top can be very lonely.
True story.
Very, very lonely. Because not many people are able to relate from where you are. The more you go up, the harder it is to find reference. You know?
Correct.
And so you in a way it makes you so vulnerable. But that vulnerability is important because it will always push you to a place of improving yourself every other day, because you have nothing to turn to vindicate you. And to the end, I think where you find that perfect balance, and this is the perfect balance, and I've always told some of my people who care to hear, that I've gotten to a point where I'm not moved by men's criticisms, but neither am I moved by their praises.